It's set go. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the start and 25th to the 11th, 2025. Attendance is an apology for leave of absence. We have apologies from Amanda Layton, who is unwell, unfortunately, not too bad. I always got an apology from Councillor Maslin, who's in the
Transplant's okay.
I don't really want to do this, ladies and gentlemen, but here we go. We've got a few declarations of interest. So starting with myself on item 7.2.5, the tip amnesty, it's a financial interest. The extent of my interest is I'm a property owner, and I will be leaving the room once that is completed. I have one from Councillor Burke Maslin on item 4.3, minutes of the Community Growth Fund. The interest is impartiality. The extent of his interest is his failure as chair of the Carnarvon Heritage Group. I have an interest from myself on item 4.3, Community Growth Fund. My interest is impartiality. I'm a member of two of the organisations that applied for funding. Disclosure of impartiality interest from Dudley Maslin on the on 7.2.5.
I've got to change that, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah,
I put 4.4 down on that because it's minutes of the awards committee. I should have been 4.2. I made the notes yesterday, and when I transferred it onto that, I put the.
I'm reading the amnesty, the tip amnesty one.
Oh, no, the amnesty one's right. Sorry, but I declared an declaration of interest in 4.4 when it should be 4.2,
Okay.
which was to do with the Community Growth Fund. I wrote it down right, but I didn't put the right number on there. Thank you.
So item at the moment we're dealing with 7.2.5 tip amnesty for growers, the indirect financial and impartiality. There's a grower at 335 Margaret Road. And Councillor Paul Kelly, item 4.3, Community Growth Fund, the impartiality, nature of the interest, type of interest is impartiality, the extent of the interest is the member of the Gascoyne RSL board. Dudley Maslin 4.3 now.
4.3.
4.3 is correct. And the interest is Community Growth Fund Committee and indirect financial, and he is the chair of the Carnarvon Heritage Group. One from Councillor Luke Skender, 7.2.5, tip amnesty. And a financial interest, and the extent of the interest in the plantation and the property owner of the amnesty. While we're discussing these, I'll just bring up that council and do it now, so I don't forget it, but I'll.
Oh, I didn't get that.
Yeah. So, Councillor Skender applied for the ministerial approval to attend that item, and I don't. Sorry, it's the shy. Okay, so there's only one word approved. So I refer to your correspondence dated the 18th of November 2025 into that, and advise that in accordance with the authority delegated by the local minister by the Minister for Local Government, I have approved your application under section 5.693 in brackets of the Local Government Act 1995. Approval has been granted under that section of the Act to allow disclosing member Councillor Luke Skender to participate and vote on the following item at the Shire's Ordinary Council meeting on 25 November 2025. It goes on to say the subject to the following conditions: if the approval is only valid for the 25th of November Ordinary Council meeting, when agenda item 7.25 is considered, the above mentioned councillor must declare the nature and extent of his interest at the above mentioned meeting when the matter is considered. Together with the approval provided, the Chief Executive Officer is to provide the above mentioned councillor with a copy of Department of Industry and Regulation and Safety letter of approval. The CEO is to ensure that the declaration is recorded in the minutes of the above mentioned meeting when the item is considered, including the approval given and any conditions imposed. CEO is to provide a copy of the meeting to LGIRS to allow LVIRS to verify compliance with the conditions of this approval. The approval granted is based solely on the interest disclosed by the above mentioned councillor made in accordance with the application. Should other interests be identified, these interests will not be included in this approval, and the financial interest provisions of the Act will apply. Should you require further information in relation to this matter, please contact Mr. Lee Hull. I'm not even going to try and say his last name. I'm getting it wrong for sure. Acting Senior, I think it's Chattasama. Acting Senior Chattasama. Maybe Acting Senior Legislation Officer via the details provided below. Signed off by the Executive Director of Local Government Support for Flight. So, we have one more, from Councillor Marco Farina, 7.2.5, the agenda item for amnesty for growers. The nature of his interest is financial, and the extent of the interest is he is the property owner. Valeria. Oh, right. Moving right along, the declarations of interest are complete. We now have question time. So the following question was raised by Mr. Adam Coffell at the October 2025 council meeting, taken on notice. Question 3: can an updated on the council approve priority project for workers accommodation at lot 64 be provided? Council want me to read out the whole answer? No? So everybody's read that answer on that one. And we also, the following question was taken from Mr. John Farn at the October 2025 council meeting, which was related to the maintaining his work and maintaining the tip sites, and they were getting swamped by the works. Once again, I think everybody's read the answer to that one. That's what's happened. Thank you. Public question time. Is there any? Actually, I always keep following one that I'm using at the moment. My notes. Maybe I should pick up a view. Yeah, so this was back, yeah. That's not it, this one. The original one. So Mr. Brad Booth also followed up a previous question with us for more clarity, stating that the response issue did not specifically answer the question asked. Has everybody read that one? Yes. Public question time. We have no members of questions from them. Okay. So we're moving straight into confirmation of the minutes on 4.1, the ordinary council meeting on the 28th of October, and 4.2, the minutes of the special council meeting, 13th of November. Right, and read for those, please, councillor. Nosler. Councillor Farina, second that. Councillors, is there any debate questions? There being no debate questions or comments. They that adopted as councillors is receiving the minutes of the 4.3, the Community Growth Fund, and the 4.4, the minutes of the Awards Committee meeting. So the Community Growth Fund meeting on the 18th of November and the Awards Committee meeting on the 19th of November. I've declared an interest in that one. Councillor Slender. Please, thank you. Councillor Farina. Councillors, is there any debate questions?
My declaration of interest on my voting, is that right?
No.
No, thank you.
Okay, right. Question debate. Okay, councillors, that's adopted unanimously. Thank you. Announcements by the president without discussion. Just quickly wanted to say a huge thank you to all the staff involved in the West Australian Tourism Council working group meeting last week. It was excellent. Absolutely. I'm sure Councillor Kelly will attest to that. Never seen our town so positive. It was wonderful. Great outcome, I thought, and I hope that drive, excitement continues. Wonderful. Thank you. Moving right along. Petitions and memorials. Friends of Dubulwarra Boar, I don't think, unfortunately can't make it. Mr. Sandy McGinn of the RSL. You're up, mate. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity to present on behalf of the Gascoyne sub-branch of the Returning Services League of Australia. The history of the League. The League was formed in 1916 in response to the lack of coordinated national approach to the repatriation services and medical support for Australians returning from the First World War. On the 6th of June 1916, representatives from New South Wales, Queensland, South Australia and Victoria met to resolve to establish the Returned Sailors and Soldiers Imperial League of Australia, abbreviation RSSILA. Their purpose was clear: to advocate for improved benefits, treatment and welfare for veterans and serving defence personnel, and to uphold the health, well-being and security of Australia and the Australian way of life. Before the League was formed, each state's Returned Service Association worked independently to lobby for better conditions. The creation of the RSSILA united these efforts, establishing what would soon become and still remains Australia's largest ex-service organisation. In 1923, the League adopted its enduring motto: "The price of liberty is eternal vigilance." This was also the year that Gascoyne sub-branch was officially registered and received its charter on 9th of May 1923. Structure of the League. Every state and territory maintained its own branch of the League, each with a similar hierarchical structure. Branches are divided into districts and sub-branches, each serving members within the particular region. It is important to distinguish RSL sub-branches and the commercial RSL clubs, as these often cause confusion. In states such as Western Australia and New South Wales, RSL organisations do not own or operate licensed clubs or poker machines. In contrast, some Victorian sub-branches do own and operate club facilities. Our history of the Gascoyne sub-branch. In partnership with the Shire of Carnarvon, Gascoyne sub-branch members have supported numerous community projects and events, including conducting ceremonial services, concept design, shipping and construction of the Carnarvon War Memorial, multiple iterations of HMA Sydney memorials, procurement and installation of the Digger statue, officially named Billy, on the top of the cenotaph. In 1948, the sub-branch entered a joint partnership with the Swansea Theatre on Robinson Street, establishing the Gascoyne Memorial Theatre. Following extensions to the further development of the premises, transitioned on the 1st of January 1989 into the Gascoyne Memorial Foundation, created as a perpetual memorial to all those who served and fell in the conflicts of 1914, 18, 39 and 45, and all subsequent operations. Today, through the support of the Carnarvon Shire, we are fortunate to have a permanent home, the old fire station, 9 Stewart Street. These premises supports our ceremonies, gatherings, community engagement activities as a result of this dedicated space. Requests to use our venue for small functions and events have increased notably. Our current and future projects. The Gascoyne RSL is actively progressing several initiatives to honour service, strengthen community connections and maintain local heritage. These include the HMA Sydney Plaque project, the work in process, assisting the Shire of Carnarvon with updating layout, corrected names and installation of the new commemorative plaques. Coral Bay Memorial, once again, a work in progress. Supporting plans and development of the new memorial space in Coral Bay. Alfresco area development. Designing an alfresco area at the front of our building to improve street visibility, provide disabled parking, and to create safer pedestrian access. A formal submission is currently being drafted for the Shire. Events and promotions. We are increasing our presence in a local event and promotion promotion benefits for the Gascoyne RSL members, mateship, camaraderie, and community support. We have purchased a 6x3 marquee with the printing design pending and applied for a community grant to acquire 2 barbecues for the major events and community functions. Carnarvon Community College partnership. The college has requested supervised student visits to our museum for educational activities and on selected Fridays. To support this, we plan to make the rear area more of our premises more child friendly. Donations and community support. Upon request, the Gascoyne RSL donates books to local schools. In previous years, we've also donated musical instruments to the high school, supporting the formation of the school band. A group of the group that proudly performs at our Anzac Day services. Gascoyne RSL income stream. Our sub-branch is entirely self-funded. Income is generated through membership contributions, conducting ceremonial events, visitors to the RSL, public donations from community organisations, and support from travellers passing through our region. In closing, for over a century, the Gascoyne RSL has served veterans, preserved local military heritage, and strengthened the fabric of Carnarvon's community. We will continue this mission with the same dedication shown as our forebears members in 1923. To that end, we are on a recruitment drive for more members of the community to assist us in our endeavour. And I'd like to thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thanks, Andy.
No worries. Any questions? No?
Councillors, we'll jump straight into the departmental reports. 7.1.1 status of council decisions. Councillors, do I have a mover? Councillor Burke Miller. Taking the place, councillor Sponder. Councillors, are there any debate questions? Being no debate or questions, actually, I have one question. I know, Madam CEO, that the blowholes target date continues to be pushed back, which I'm quite aware that the DPLH, so doing another planning process of.
So it's reviewing the management plan and its appropriateness to the area
In regard to suitability.
for the shacks, how it all works.
Okay.
And so there's I think it's 10 years on next year, the management plan.
Yeah.
And so they're undertaking a review.
Yeah.
We have made comment in that we would like to see that the shacks area and everything be defined and to be worked through so that we're able to actually progress the management plan. So we're waiting for that to be completed, and that's why I pushed it back, because unfortunately, and I've made this very aware to the department, it's taken much longer than we would have liked to see at this point.
Sure you have, and did they give any indication at all? Sorry, I had to ask the question. I had to. Any indication at all?
No.
Okay. Probably not worth giving poke in the side.
Look, they are very aware, and I speak to them very regularly, and they appear to be committed to going forward and finding a way forward, but it is on their terms and timing.
Thank you. Item 7.1.2, actions performed. Oh, sorry. All those in favour? Put this item. That's councillor here. Thank you. It's unanimous, Mrs. Hill. Thank you. Neil. Item 7.1.2, actions performed under delegated authority for the months of October and November. That's a Skender. Arena. Councillors, but again, any debates, questions?
I'd like to make a observation. Just want to make a point of there's a couple of young families here in the I really am pleased to see. So and they're building up passions and what they're doing down here. So we have Daniela Ladnock from Brandon Ferry and William Street. We have Peter and Jane Williams, two young families, heavily investing their time and emotions and finances into our town and their homes here. So I'd like to congratulate them and wish them all the best. It's pretty significant. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure the whole council shares those. That's
Through the chair, and I do apologise. A question to CEO. I did ask in an email, and I do apologise if I misplaced it. Under the land use and development, I've not seen decision details, declared locations and non-declared location utilised in the descriptions before for those licences.
That's sort of
And the one, yeah, I know the declared locations are enclosed in a list somewhere. I've just not seen non-declared locations. I'm just wondering what the context for that is. And I'm happy to leave that on notice.
Yeah, through the chair, if it does answer, I can also take on notice and find out some further information, but the declared, all non-declared locations are those that are not declared, that is in the schedule within the policy that will be updated in December. So there's no, Stefan, correct me if I'm wrong, but no list of non-declared. It's essentially all those that aren't declared.
So the declared list sits in the local law.
Yep.
In declared sites, and then anything outside of the declared sites is considered to be non-declared, which council has authority to allow
Yep.
trading. Through the chair, just a quick update. I think I mentioned it in the briefing, but the Chamber of Commerce has presented and been to see us about us talking about tightening that policy up. So we are trying to do a bit of work on that. You may or may not be able to get that for December. It may be in the February one, so that we can work to make sure that there is more support for our permanent fixed businesses, and then what the impact is on them from the hawkers and the vans. And they've actually proposed a couple of sites that perhaps are a little out of town and that don't impact so much, well, not out of town, but removed from other sites. And I was waiting for Stefan to get back from leave to be able to progress that. So it has been very much escalated that where hawkers have been allowed to trade is perhaps not the most appropriate, and doing the best by our permanent tradies.
Thank you very much for those explanations.
Thank you. Councillors, item 7.13, appointment of the acting CEO. Councillors, is there any further debate or discussion? There being no further debate or discussion, that's adopted unanimously, Mrs. Hill, 8-0. Item 7.1.3, appointment of acting CEO for CEO's leave period. Councillor Kelly. Councillor B. Maslow. Councillor, is there any debate or questions? I'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? Unanimous, Mrs. Hill. I'm going to remember to vote this time. 8-0. Item 7.2.1, proposed fees and charges for the 25-26 year of the community hub. Mover, please. Councillor Kelly. Councillor Burke-Maslow. Councillors, is there any debate or questions?
I'll talk to you, motion if I may, Mr.
Yes,
President.
you're opening the site then, Councillor.
Councillors, I want to note that I'm supportive of the proposed fee arrangements as they are presented. In isolation, the structure appears reasonable and aligns with our intent to ensure fair access while contributing appropriately to the cost of service delivery. However, as we move into the 25-26 budget planning process, I'll be seeking more detailed information across our discretionary services portfolio, including project outcomes and performance indicators, utilisation trends and community benefits, operating costs, revenue expectations, and year-to-date financial performance, and also forward projections and any identified funding gaps. This level of information will assist me, and I believe council more broadly, in making informed decisions regarding service levels, resource allocation, and project engagement to most importantly ensure our long-term financial stability. And again, I'm supportive of the motion, and I recommend council adopt the item. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Kelly. Is there any speakers against the motion? I have one question. Has there been a change to the real future support ongoing?
Stand up.
So currently what we're doing is we received an agreement for the first 2 years, and we're currently spending the remaining of the funds that were given to us for the original pilot program. So as I shared previously at the agenda forum, what we'll be doing is reviewing all those costs, and then we're on a periodic lease at the moment until those funds are fully expended. Currently working through our positioning at the moment, present back to the council.
Thank you very much. We've had a speaker for it. We don't have any speakers against it. There are no further speakers for it. No further questions. Councillors, I'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? It's adopted unanimously, Mrs. Hill. Hill, thank you. Item 7.2.2, monthly financial report 2025. Mover, please. Councillor Kelly. Councillor Burke Maslin. Councillors, is there any debate? Questions? I have a question. On the key points of interest for the council's consideration, and once again, we've mentioned the Rex depth, which is sitting over the top of us, and there's been provision for it in the last two budgets, 23-24 and 24-25 budget. When is it? When do we give up? When do we actually deal with that? I'm just, yeah.
So through the chair, right is that we wait to the finalisation of the sale and with the administration as to whether or not they will be allocating any funds out of that to creditors such as us.
Yeah.
And so that will be during this financial year, I would say, and next financial year we'll need to take it into account. Equally, and I'm comfortable saying this in this room, that we are still needing to help the state government understand that that is quite an impost that hangs over our head, and that is a cost that has been forced on us by their administration and not our own. And so when we look to be taking on that next year, and that it impacts heavily because it will actually write off any discretionary capital spend that we have in the financial year, that they recognise the impost that their management of this has incurred accordingly.
Well, with that in mind, does council have a feeling that we should be talking about the transport aviation section about this again and reinforcing our position? Is council happy if we do that? And in mind, just as an aside, because I want councils aware if we're going to write Frankie letter to the minister. Okay.
If I may, more public observation, with the experience of Rex Airlines, tardiness in certainly the monthly accounts, would it be appropriate for council to consider a policy going forward for any new operator so we don't find ourselves in a similar position?
Through the chair, Amanda's not here today, our exec, but my understanding is that we are very actively seeking debt from the payment terms of each invoice from now on, and that we have set that up accordingly. We are reviewing our policies and our financial policies with the Audit and Risk and Improvement Committee from next month. So I'm pretty sure that's in there. And as you know, that through the Audit and Risk, we actually present you our debt every 2 months as well. So there's much more oversight on where we're sitting from now on, and available for council to, enact anything they would like the administration to go forward with.
Through the chair. Because if we cancel our landing rights because of payment, obviously has a significant impact on our community.
But I think we're going to bite off our nose to spite our faces doing something like that. And I would even consider it. We need that service, especially for people getting medical.
Going forward, we can make sure that we're reviewing. And I know there's been other times where councils have put significant creditors like that on debtors, on like 2 weekly terms and different things as well. So there are other ways that we can look if there's any trends that start emerging again. I know that we do not have anywhere near the debt that has been allowed to incur in the past.
Or again, through the chair, maybe cheaply, perhaps a undertaking from DOT to underwrite.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'll write a very strong amendment. Thank you very much. So, councillors, there's no debate is with that. after that discussion, I think I'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? Unanimous, Bill, 8-0. You, item 7.2.3, accounts paid under delegation for October 2025. Councillors, move it, please. Councillor Kelly and Councillor Verena. Councillors, is there any debate? There being no debate, let's adopt it unanimously. Take emphasis still. Item 8-0. Item 7.2.4, presentation of the
That's
24-25 annual report has been pulled. The tip amnesty, I've declared an interest in this one, so I'll leave the room.
I'm gonna go too. Thank you.
Said motionless or
So, councillors have declared interest have left the room. This is item 7.2.5, the tip amnesty to Carnarvon growers. Councillor Luke Skender has been given ministerial approval to remain in the room and vote on this item. That is in accordance with section 5.69 of the Local Government Act. So that basically the administration of any DEXA has applied for ministerial approval, and the response from that is, I refer to your correspondence dated 18th November 2025, and that in accordance with the authority delegated by the Minister for Local Government, I've approved your application under section 5.69, section 3 of the Local Government Act 1995. The Act approve has been granted under 5.69, section 3 of the Act to allow disclosing member Councillor Luke Skender to participate and vote on the following item, the Shire's Ordinary Council meeting on 25th November 2025. So with that, I get a mover for the motion.
I move the motion and also suggest a slight amendment.
Get a seconder first. Councillor Kelly, can I get a seconder? Councillor Young is a seconder.
I'll just say something very quickly. We just want to elaborate a little bit more on what Councillor Masnick has just said. The reason for that application to the minister is because there's 4 growers, and for the benefit of the people here and also in the recording. There's 4 growers out of 8 for 50%, including myself, who would normally have to leave the room because it's financial, and because this item requires an absolute majority, 50% of the councillors out of the room, we do not satisfy that voting requirement. So in order for us as a council to be able to address and vote on this, one of us had to apply for the ministerial approval to remain in the room and vote. That was me. So hence we went through that process and it's been approved.
Yep. Thank you for further clarification. Okay, we have a mover and a seconder, and Councillor Skender has further clarified the reasoning behind where we're at. So, Councillor Kelly.
Yeah, the slight motion I'm suggesting is in recommendation 1 to satisfy the words provide a full 3-month period for the disposal. I'm suggesting we change the period of the amnesty from the 1st of December 25 to the 1st of March 26.
Do you have any support there, Councillor Young?
Yeah.
Okay, everyone else, has anyone got any objections to that amendment? Okay, there's no further discussion, debate. Put to the vote. All those in favour? Carried. Bob. The council is just joining us. The motion was put, there was a slight amendment, that was made by councillor Kelly. Which was just a change on the dates, but that, seconded by councillor Young and voted on 5-4, so unanimous. Okay.
Right, councillors, thank you, councillor. Perfect. Item 7.3.1, defibrillator the blowholes reserve. Councillor Burke, Masco. Councillor Paul Kelly, seconded it. Councillors, is there any debate or discussion?
I hope I make a comment.
Use us.
This is a item that came up initially from a member of the public making a presentation. So an excellent example that our citizens can have an effect on business of council and having some very good outcomes. So I do apologise. I did read back through my minutes for the committee member's name. Karina Barron. Thank you, Mrs. Barron. So you can just take that on note that she has provided for our community.
Thank you,
Thank you.
councillor Kelly. Yeah, I want to speak to it as well. I do want to speak to it because I also met with Mrs. Barron, Karina, after a very sad event that occurred up at the blowholes. And she was a very strong lobbyist for all the right reasons for this to occur. I thank her for coming to us and asking and making that effort. And I think it's wonderful that we've managed to, especially with the support of Leichhardt and their donation to this going forward. I think everybody has taken this on and treated it with respect it deserved. Councillors and Councillor Godwin Meslam.
Thank you, Mr. President. I fully support the motion and sentiment. But these things need a management program. I just want to point that out because we've put life buoys and things up along the coast over the years and different things for the benefit of the public. And they're put in and they're basically forgotten about. And I know it's a management issue, but I just want to make the point. We should make a note that it's a management issue and there should be something. Thank you.
Through the chair, very valid point. And through the Audit Risk and Improvement Committee, you'll be seeing our TAIN register. TAIN is our compliance register where we have now got these sorts of things in there, and you will see every 3 months accordingly if they've been updated or not. So that level of oversight goes to the audit and risk and then also comes to council. So we have put in place the appropriate measures to ensure that.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Councillors, no further comments or debate or discussion. I'll put it to the vote. All those in favour? Councillor Skinder and thank you. That's the unanimous, Mrs. Hill, 8-0. Councillors, item 7.3.2, Shire of Carnarvon Local Planning Standards 13 amendments. One mover, please. Councillor Skinder. Seconder, please. Councillor Farina. Is there any debate, comments, councillors?
As discussed in previous meetings, I'd like to thank the staff for bringing this together, and it's taken a while and have to be comprehensive and careful in how it's done. So thank you, Slough, for doing a great job here. I just want to reiterate to council that this is just, summarise that we're basically changing it back to what it was previously. So it was added in November 2020, and it's a few years ago now. And the zoning that it went to, which as of today, had restricted the property owner to land use, which is not really suitable for that 3,000 or 4,000 square meters of land. So basically, we're just putting it back to how it should be. And I urge councillors to support it for the landowner.
Thank you. I'd also like to comment on it. I totally support the item for all the right reasons, but I'm also acutely aware of the conflict that can occur when you get intensive horticulture alongside another use. So I'd like to, I had thought about trying to put something together, but I've run out of time on how can we ensure that any future approvals will take into mind the use surrounding that property once it's been rezoned. You? But with that, councillor, all those in favour? It's unanimous, Mr. Hill, 8-0. Item 7.3.3, WA Tourism Conference Flags, Councillor Hill, are you moving that motion?
Thank you.
Second, please, councillor Lee. Is there any debate, councillor?
I'll just talk to the motion, Mr. President.
Sorry, councillor Kelly moved that. Sorry, councillor Kelly and councillor President. So, councillor. Seconded. Councillor Kelly.
I'll speak to that business.
Right, thank you.
Yes, I support the motion. The WA Tourism Conference 26 represents a significant and timely opportunity for our shire and our community. I'm hoping we as a community choose to approach this strategically. It can be a moment that we all reset, that is to reset our tourism focus. Let business have an opportunity to look at what they're doing. And I think most importantly, which I did speak about the other night at the planning meeting, reset about how we think about Carnarvon and about ourselves. Were quite obvious of all the negative comment, a little bit in the press, but certainly in social media. If we truly embrace this reset, the conference could become one of the most important catalysts for change in our recent history. I'd also like to the many advocates that are out there, thank you. And their enthusiasm, drive and passion for Carnarvon was abundantly clear at the conference workshop on Wednesday. That collective commitment is exactly what we need to help us seize this opportunity and move our community forward. So I ask that council also support the motion, whilst it's only a small bit of a large commitment that the Shire is putting into it. We are the leaders. Let's lead. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor Kelly. Are there any speakers against the motion? Any further speakers for the motion? There being no further speakers, all those in favour? It's adopted unanimously, Mrs. Hill, 8-0. Councillors, item 7.3.4, Pelican Point beef closure. What have I moved it? Councillor, Councillor Farina. Councillors, is there any debate? Yes.
In recommendation then. So just in the recommendation, actually mentions the recommendation point 2 that direct CEO to conduct a comprehensive review of the temporary vehicle access bans, including detailed assessment of the dune conditions and environmental impacts, and present a report with recommendations in November 2027. I'm just mindful of the fact that'll be 2 years away, and I was hoping we'll get some kind of vision, things change quickly in that space.
So through the chair, are you looking to revoke the vehicle access, or you're just wanting more
No,
information?
just more in a report, an interim report. 2027 is when we expect to present a report with the recommendations. Is there the ability to have some kind of interim report before then?
Yeah, okay. So, and the intent was that we would remain closed, so we can certainly, number 2, if you happy if I just clarify this up a little bit?
Yep.
So direct the CEO to conduct recommendations back to council at the earliest time available. And as I discussed, we have hopefully the McCusker Foundation through their program coming next year to do quite a lot of work on this, and we have a grant still in place. But could I say that 3, that, pardon? Yeah, at the earliest practical.
Possible time.
Practical.
Savings you're gonna have some influence.
Yeah, and I'll report that regularly, because this will stay as an item as well through the status update. And then 3, though, if we could just say that the ban is in place until the 27th of November. So at the minute, the community is very aware that we've still got quite a great deal going on. And given the movement of the spit, that we're saying that will remain in place, so that the ban remains in place until the 27th of November 27th. Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. Thank you, councillors.
Councillor Burke-Maslin and Councillor Farina, are you supportive of those changes in that motion? Thank you. So that is now the motion. Any further speakers for, speaker against the motion? Any further speakers for the motion? To vote, all those in favour? Thank you. Councillors, 7.4 infrastructure service, there's nil applications for leave of absence. Nil. Motions for which the previous notice has been given, there is nil. Questions from members without notices. Is there any question? Councillor Dale?
Thank you, Mr. President. It's just in relation to the Community Growth Fund. Normally, August meeting, council by simple majority pursuant to section 318 of the Act resolved to approve the applications. The committee recommended 6 applications, so I'm not sure if we're going to bring that to the table for the December meeting.
They're the August ones. Did they come the next month? That's really
So the recommendations was that this time we just needed to receive the minutes and the recommendation provided in the minutes that an actual item didn't need to go to council. So therefore, the acceptance of them and receiving the minutes is the acceptance of council and the recommendation. It was just a change of structure. That was just the recommendation.
So through the chair, with committees, we don't need to bring a full item. Council accepts and endorses the decisions made by the committee. And that's what occurred today you accepted the minutes.
And that was in terms of 318, sorry, through the chair. Yeah. Sorry, it's just a change to past practice.
It was a change to past practice to bring it up to date with how it should be.
Thank you.
Councillors, urgent business approved. Sorry, I have a question. So, over the past few years, probably goes back 15 or 16 years, the council has been constantly told that the Coral Bay waste site is full. And it was a significant issue. And we've constantly been reminded of it for quite some time. And it's been in the back of my mind, this is an issue that really significantly will impact Coral Bay and possibly public opinion of the council, because at the moment the waste side is pretty ugly on the dual and the Crown Coral Bay on the coastline, with the waste side on the entrance, the way it looks. So with all of this in mind and the constant, I can remember I went back about 9 years ago, council was taken up there and taken for a tour of a possible new site next door, and it was the then manager of infrastructure was very passionate about how it was full and we had to do something. And over the last few years, we've put a lot of effort into trying to get the approval for a new waste site, money and time. A lot of time's gone into that. I remember one meeting we went to Coral Bay, it cost us tens of thousands of dollars. I can't remember the exact figure. And it lasted about 12 minutes. And ridiculous. Andrew and I went up there and, were you there with us, Stephen? No, you weren't. It was only Andrew and myself, because it was going to be basically, yeah, except this, well, the lawyer, we did a presentation. We had an hour to do a presentation. It took us 40 minutes, but then we had to leave the room while they discussed it. About 15 minutes later, the lawyer walked out and said, "No, you'll have to go away. We need to talk about this some more." So it went about, I think that day cost us $38,000 alone. So it's been a real long progress and process, and it's taken a long time. So I'll eventually get to the question, Council. So I've noted that in some of the documents we received, that the ASK management review states that site now has 3 to 5 years of life left in it. Well, I can remember 8 years ago, and then on 2 occasions at least, I was told we're as good as breaching the licence conditions on the site. This was 8 years ago, so now I'm starting to get concerned. So my question is, I don't know what ASK management's review contains, but has the licence conditions on the Coral Bay site changed? I'm happy to take that on notice.
Yes, we'll take that on notice. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. No further questions from councillors? Right, urgent business approved by the presiding members. Councillors, we've all got the,
No, they don't.
I'm sorry, we're going to hand it around. Would someone like to move we suspend standard order? Councillor Matlin, Councillor Kelly, all those in favour? Councillors, you'll get a document for a motion for agenda, I'm sorry, for DG Corp funding agreement. Councillor Maslin, Councillor Kelly, and all those in favour. Councillor Kelly. Councillors Matley, Maslin, seconded that, so all those in favour? We're back online. Councillors, item 13, date of the next meeting will be the 16th of the 12th, 2025. And with that, I'll close the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.